Hello and welcome to Slideform. I'm Allison. I'm going to show you exactly how I can automate my reporting in PowerPoint to pull in data from an Excel spreadsheet. So here's my example presentation that I gave last week to our board, which shows you the number of customers, churn rate, etc., across our customer success organization. Now, all the data in this presentation comes from an Excel file that I gather from Gainsight. And so you can see each row in this sheet has the data for different quarter across all the KPIs and metrics that we're interested in tracking. I copy and paste this usually into my presentation, but with Slideform, I can automatically fill in all of these numbers, leaving me time and energy to focus on the strategy and interpretation of the data itself. So there are three different ingredients for slide automation with Slideform. The first is to have a presentation template. So I take this presentation and I created a PowerPoint that includes what we call data pragmas. These are placeholders for the data that'll be filled in from the Excel file. I also create placeholder pragmas for my charts, images, quotes, and anything else that I want to bring into the presentation automatically. The second ingredient for this automation is my Excel file. So I lay out the Excel file with one column for each of the pieces of information that I want to bring into the presentation. I also have a different sheet showing the charts that I want to import into the presentation. Now, once I have these two ingredients, the third step is really to incorporate these and link them together in Slideform. So I upload the slide template into Slideform, and then I can go in and link that to my data source. Under data sources, you can choose the Excel file that you are going to pull data from and save the form. Then I'm going to link together the data from the Excel file into each pragma in my presentation template. So for example, to show which quarter I'm going to create this report for, I can set up a pragma that's pulling from my Gainsight KPIs Excel file. I choose the sheet where the data is and the actual cell values where that data is stored. This will allow me then to select my quarter of interest from a drop-down menu to create the presentation. Then I can also make dependencies within my presentation so that the quarter and the metrics for that quarter will be automatically filled in based on dependencies between these data fields. For example, with the previous quarter's net revenue retention, I can make this automatically filled in based on what the quarter name is that I chose. To set up a chart, then I can set up that pragma, show where the data is coming from, and then simply select my chart from a drop-down menu. And we'll see this chart reflected wherever the pragma of this name is located in the presentation. So then all I have to do is save this form and I can create a presentation. The presentation creation process involves filling out a couple of different questions that we see presented to the user. So for example, I'm going to choose the quarter of interest here that I'm going to report on, click Next, and I select the previous quarter. And then I have to input some information that's going to go into my action plan. So for example, here I might type in hire more CSMs. And here I'm going to prevent churn. Click Next, and then finally fill in the next quarter. And the presentation is now being filled in based on those answers and the data from the Excel file. Okay, great. It's done processing, and now we have a preview of our finished presentation. You can see that all the data values are filled in. for the previous quarter, the current quarter. All the charts are filled in, and even the outlook for next quarter is completed based on the Excel file. So to get this out into PowerPoint, I just click download the PowerPoint file, and I could also export it to Google Slides or even a PDF if I wanted that option. And you can see what the final version looks like here in PowerPoint. And of course, this is completely editable. So if I wanted to go in and change anything or complete a few interpretations or insights here on the slides, I can always type that in and take a look at the slides before I send them off to my executive team. I hope this is helpful to you, and be sure to check out slideform.co and our blog for some helpful tips on how to make your presentations smoother and painless. Thanks.